The most dangerous portfolio I've ever saw had 247 positions. The best one, just 15. Secretly concentrate while preaching diversification. How a portfolio with 3 out of 5 positions go to 0 can still crush the market. After 20 years in risk management, I can tell you the most dangerous portfolio I've ever saw had 247 positions. The best one, just 15. And before you think I'm crazy, Warren Buffett has 57% of Berkshire and just 4 stocks. The Norwegian Sovereign Fund owns 9,000 companies. Who's right? Both. And today I'll share exactly why. And trust me, this will probably challenge everything you believe about diversification. Look, I'm going to completely flip how you think about risk. Because what they teach you in finance textbooks, it's designed for billion-euro portfolios, not for your 10,000 or 100,000 euros. And I learned this the hard way. I'll show you the actual math that proves why 15 well-chosen positions can beat 100 random ones. Why professional investors, myself included, secretly concentrate while preaching diversification. And why the ability to wait, not diversification, is your real superpower. Plus, I'll run the numbers on something that shocked even me when I first calculated it. How a portfolio with 3 out of 5 positions go to 0 can still crush the market. Quick disclaimer, this is education about risk principles, not investment advice. I'm teaching you to think like we think, not telling you what to buy. Let me tell you about this committee meeting that changed my entire perspective. A junior analyst, fresh from university, you know the type, all excited, presents this groundbreaking research. He goes, "We only need 15 stocks for optimal diversification. Look, 15 positions eliminate 85% of unsystemic risk." And he's standing there so proud of himself. Going to 100 position only gets you to 92%. The head of portfolio management, this guy never shows emotions, nearly spit out his coffee. He looks at the kid and goes, "We managed 50 billion euros. You want me to put 3.3 billion euros in each position? Then we would be the risk." The whole room went silent. And that's when it clicked for me. I'd been applying institutional rules to my personal portfolio. The rules for billions are not the rules for thousands. Look at the actual math. And I've verified this across multiple academic studies. With 15 stocks, you capture 85% of diversification benefits. Double it 30, you get to 90%. Go crazy with 100 stocks, 92%. Think about that for a second. You're killing yourself in complexity for 7% additional risk reduction. And here's what nobody tells you. You're destroying any chance of outperformance. Here's the killer stat that I show every friend who asks me about investing. Random 15 stock portfolios have a 27% chance of beating the market. 250 stock portfolios, just 2%. You know why? Because you're guaranteed to own all the losers and underweight the rare massive winners. You've literally diversified away your upside. It's like dating, you can't marry everyone, right? Now, I know what you're thinking, and yes, I get this question all the time. But Philip, Goldman Sachs has hundreds of positions. The Norwegian Fund has 9,000 stocks. Are they stupid? No, they are not stupid. But let me tell you exactly what that comparison makes no sense for you. First, the size. The Allianz, one of the biggest insurers on earth, manages around 800 billion euros. If they only had 15 positions, that would be 53 billion euros each. They would literally become the company. They don't half of BMW or something. The Norwegian funds, 1.9 trillion euros. They own 1.5% of every public company on earth. These guys show up in every shareholder meeting. They don't have a choice. Second, regulation. And this is the boring but important part. Solvency II in Europe, Basel III for banks, these rules force diversification. An insurance company putting in only like 10% in one stock, the regulators would shut them down tomorrow. Third, and this is my favorite because it's so human, the career risk. No portfolio manager ever got fired for owning the index. Trust me, I've said in those performance reviews, but concentrate on underperformance for 2 years, you're gone. Even if year 3 would have made you the hero. I watched brilliant colleagues get fired for being right too early. That's the game in institutions. But you don't have a boss to fire you from your own portfolio. Oh, and here's something that blew my mind when I first learned it. Yale's endowment, only 10% in normal stocks and bonds. The rest? Private equity, venture capital, hedge fund, and completely different universe that you and I can't even access. But that's a conversation for another video. Okay, let me show the math that blew my mind. And I mean it. When I first ran these numbers, I had to check it 3 times. Portfolio A. Let's call it the diversified safety. 20 positions, 5% each. Each averages like 5% annual return. After 10 years, 100 euros become 136 euros. Feels safe, looks smart, performs average. This is what most people do. Let's compare it with Portfolio B, the concentrated risk. Now watch this. It's almost criminal how it works. 5 positions, 20% each. Position 1 goes to 0. Bankrupt, gone, minus 20%. Position 2, also 0. Another disaster, minus 20%. Position 3, breaks even. Nothing, 0%. At this point you're thinking, Philip, this is a disaster. 3 out of 5 are failures. But wait. Position 4, it triples. 20 euros becomes 60 euros, plus 40%. And position 5, that's a 10-bagger. 20 euros become 200 euros, plus 180%. Total, 0 plus 0 plus 20 plus 60 plus 200. That's 280 euros. You started with 100 euros. 3 positions at 0 or break even. Just 2 big winners. Result, you more than doubled your money. A 180% return, while the safe portfolio made just 63%. Message, even a few big winners can vastly outperform, despite several total losses. I know what you're thinking. This can't be real. This isn't fantasy. Look at any venture capital portfolio. Most investments fail completely, but one Uber or Airbnb pays off for everything plus massive profits. And here's the thing that excites me most. You don't need venture capital to access for this to work. Amazon was down 90% in 2001. I remember colleagues selling in panic. Apple almost went bankrupt in 1997. Netflix dropped 80% in 2011. My buddy sold Netflix at the bottom to buy a car. That car cost him about 2 million euros in opportunity cost. He still drives it, by the way. Says it's the most expensive Toyota in history. If you had to sell, you lost. If you could wait, you're rich. And this brings me to the real secret I learned the hard way. Risk isn't about volatility. It's about time. The Norwegian fund holds position for an average of 7 years. 7 years. You know what the average retail investor holds it? 5 months. Not even half a year. That's like planting a tree and digging it up every few months to check the roots. Let me tell you a personal story. 2008 crisis. I'm working at a bank, watching portfolios melt down. If you had to sell in March 2009, maybe you lost your job, needed the money, you locked in a 50% loss. I saw people destroy their retirement doing this. But if you could wait until 2011, you're back to even. By 2013, you're up 30%. Same investment, same risk, completely different outcome. Based on one factor, could you wait? And this is why leverage is suicide for retail investors. I don't care how smart you are. Not because the investment is bad, but because leverage forces you to sell at the worst possible moment. Margin calls don't care about your long-term thesis. They don't care that you're right about the company. The market can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent with leverage. We institutional investors call this time arbitrage. We make money simply by being able to wait when others can't. No genius required. Just patience and no forced selling. And honestly, it's the most boring way to get rich. But it works. So, here's the framework. And it's completely different from any textbook tells you. This is what I actually do with my own money. Rule 1. Position count. If you know what you're doing, 15 to 25 position max. Less is fine if you have high conviction. I personally run currently at about 18 positions. My wife thinks that's 70 too many. And listen, if you're sitting there thinking, Philip, I have no idea how to pick even 5 stocks, let alone 15. That's totally fine. Seriously. Just buy a global ETF and be done with it. You won't beat the market, but you'll be the market. And that's better than most active investors anyway, including some of my former colleagues with fancy degrees. No shame in that game. I'd rather you own the whole market than pick 50 random stocks because some YouTuber told you to. And yes, I realize the irony of me saying this on YouTube. Rule number 2. Only invest money you won't need for 5+ years. This is the rule. I cannot stress it enough. If you might need it for a house, wedding, emergency, it doesn't go in stocks. Period. I don't care if the market looks amazing. Because the moment you need to sell is the moment the market knows you're desperate. It's like the market has a sixth sense for desperation. Rule number 3. Embrace concentration. Better to own 5 companies you understand than 15 you don't. I see people with 100+ positions who can't even name them all. I met someone last week with 127 positions. I asked him to name 20. He got to about 8 and gave up. That's not investing, that's collecting Pokemon cards. Rule number 4. Think in decades, not quarters. Every time you want to panic sell, ask yourself, will this company exist in 10 years? If yes, why are you selling? If no, why did you buy it in the first place? This simple question has saved me from so many stupid decisions. But look, everyone's risk tolerance is different. My risk tolerance is different from my wife's, and here's the difference from yours. That's why I built you a free tool, a simple risk preference questionnaire. It takes only a few minutes, gives you a quick sense of your personal risk comfort level. Not mine, not Warren Buffett's, yours. Now listen carefully. This is not professional investment advice. It's not some sophisticated institution analyzer that costs thousands. It's just a basic tool to help you think about your own risk preferences. Think of it as a conversation starter with yourself about risk. Nothing more. Like a mirror for your risk personality. Links in the description, or just visit our website. Here's what separates institutional thinking from retail thinking when it comes to risk. And I lift both sides. Retail thinks more positions equals less risk. Institutions know time horizon equals real risk management. Retail thinks volatility is a danger. Institutions know volatility is opportunity if you can wait. And trust me, watching volatility when you can't act is a real torture. Retail thinks I need to diversify like the big funds. Institutions know we diversify because we have to, not because we want to. I remember a pension fund manager telling me I love to own just 10 stocks. But imagine explaining that pensioners, where their retirement is just in 10 stocks. I'd be crucified. Remember, Warren Buffett didn't get rich by owning everything. The Norwegian fund isn't trying to get rich. They're trying to preserve a nation's wealth. Different game, different rules. Your advantage? You're small, you're nimble, and if you structure your life right, you have time. You have advantages that the big guys would kill for. Use them. Next week, I'll show you the 3-bucket system that billion-euro portfolio use, but adapted for normal humans. How to split your money between safety, growth, and opportunity. It's the framework that survived 2008, COVID, and will survive the next crisis. And I'll show exactly how I structure my own portfolios using this system. No theory, real numbers, real allocation. But here's your homework. And yes, I'm giving you homework. First, take that risk questionnaire. Get a sense of your comfort level with the risk. Then, look at your current investments. Actually open your broker account right now. Count your positions. I'll wait. And if it's over 30, you're not managing million, ask yourself, am I diversifying or just diluting? Be honest with yourself. Comment below, how many positions do you have? Be honest. I bet half of you don't even know without checking. That's okay. Awareness is the first step. If this risk framework opened your eyes, share it with someone who owns 50 stocks but can't name 10 of them. We all know someone like that. They need this video. See you next week when we build your institutional-grade portfolio structure without the institutional-grade complexity and without the institutional-grade fees. If you like to, I'd be honored if you like and subscribe. That's support with zero cost. And it tells YouTube that this boring finance guy is actually worth showing to more people. Remember, risk isn't your enemy. Forced selling is. Time isn't just money. Time is everything in investing. Thank you for watching, and stop diversifying yourself into mediocrity. Seriously, stop it.